Well, good morning to Southfield Public Schools and our Southfield Public Schools community, all stakeholders, parents, students, and everyone who could join us on today. My name is Daryl Beebe. I'm the Director of Student Support Network and Stakeholder Engagement. And in Southfield Public Schools, many of you know by now, POWER stands for Parents on Hand with Engagement and Resources. So we welcome you on today. On today, the Power Hour will be a Schoology demonstration and discussion of schedules from our curriculum team and curriculum department. And as always, we welcome your participation and we want you all to be involved. And so there will be a question and answer section, and we're asking that you ask your questions in that question and answer section, not in the chat section. The chat section will go off in a moment. So once again, if you have questions, feel free to ask. And then the curriculum department will also take questions at the end of the presentation. So with no further ado, at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Summer Caldwell. Summer, go ahead, you can take over.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to hand this over to Nancy. She's our supervisor of curriculum, and she'll be able to go over the schedules at a glance. Nancy?
There, that's better. Thank you, Summer. Thank you, Mr. Beebe. Summer Caldwell Crothers is our supervisor of assessment and technology, and we are hosted today by Daryl Beebe and Aaron Marshall, our magnificent student support network team. And I'm Nancy Rudzeski, curriculum supervisor for K-12. Today, we're going to be talking about your child's week at a glance, about what a typical virtual day can look like. And we're so glad to have you here today so we can help you navigate these bumpy, rocky times as we learn together. We know it will get smoother with time, but the transition might be hard, but being here will give you a step ahead. So thank you for being here today. The first schedule we'll go over is the K-5 daily schedule. And on here, it's a little bit difficult because it's so much information on one slide, but if you look online, you can find it under the Return to School plan. you can see all of these schedules there. Every child in K-5 in the district will be following this schedule. Even if your child attends one of the K-8 schools, the K-5 students, while they are virtual, will be attending this schedule. So whether you've signed up for the virtual academy or for the remote to hybrid, your child will be following this schedule. So Monday through Thursday, you can see, is a little bit different than Friday. Every day, your child will be checking in at 9 a.m. for a morning meeting time with their teacher. And then after that, they will have core instruction, whether that be ELA or math. And one will be in the morning, one will be in the afternoon. And in that will be, your child may attend a whole group lesson and then break off to do some independent work, or they may come back during some of that time for small group work with their teachers. And if they have extra time, they can work on some of their independent science and social studies units that will be on their Schoology platform. And Summer will talk about Schoology in just a minute. You wouldn't expect your child, it shows that your child is doing their core from 9:25 to 11:25. And then again, after their lunch hour from 12:15 to 2:55, you wouldn't expect your child to be straight online with their teacher for that entire block of time. It will be chunked up into whole group, independent work, and then small group breakouts. So that's, and then at the bottom of this, you can see that there's a checkout time at 3 o'clock to 3:20. So as of that time, your child will regroup with their class. They'll talk about homework, what's on deck for the next day. They'll have another meeting circle. And then this would be the time that parents could connect with the teachers if they had questions. We don't want parents to pop in and out throughout the day. I know it's easy to do because there's direct access there, but really we want to respect that 20 minutes at the end of the day. So if you have questions, just write them down and come to that end of the day session, and the teachers will be happy to answer your questions then. Your child will be having lunch from 11:30 to 12:10 each day, so they'll have that break time. And again, there'll be other breaks throughout this time. It won't be a solid 9 to 3:20 every day type work schedule. That's too much time for a child to be in front of a screen. It just depends on how quickly your child navigates through the work. But we are aligning what's happening across the district. All the materials, the platforms, and the tools will be the same. So it will be very different than spring, where things were very dependent on many, many factors. Now we're much more aligned and ready to move forward. Again, you'll feel a bumpy start because we're all learning, and we've appreciated the patience that our community has shown for us. We are moving as quickly as we can through the glitches that the whole state is facing in this time. So that is an elementary schedule. On Friday, it follows similar times, but you won't have your core blocks. This will be a time for, it will still start at 9 a.m., but this will be a time for students to have more small group time with their teachers if their teacher pulls them in for that, and they'll let them know. Students can make up any work that they missed during the week. They can work on their science and social studies unit projects that will be going along. And so that will be happening for their week. On the next slide, we will see a typical 6-8 remote learning schedule, and there's two variances. Basically, every 6-8 student in the district will be following this schedule. If they are at MacArthur, Levy, Burney, Thompson, they will be on this schedule. The university middle school is going to follow the university high school, and that is simply because of staffing issues that would require to have them switch. So they will follow the university high school because they share staff. So all the other 6-8 schools will be following this schedule for middle school. Their school day starts at 9 a.m. every day, and Monday and Wednesday are the same. Tuesday and Thursday are the same. And then Friday, they meet with every one of their classes throughout the day for shortened periods of time. For example, on Monday and Wednesday, you can see to the left, at 9:30, they start with it, or at 9 o'clock, they start with advisory. And then after that, from 9:30 to 10:55, they will bump to hour 3. After lunch, they go to hour 5, then 7, and then it ends with academic enrichment each day. This is a time from 2:40 to 3:20 that your child can get extra support from their teachers. And then Tuesday, Thursday, you can see it's hours 1, 2, 4, 6, and then again, academic enrichment. So that advisory and academic enrichment is every day. And then every other day are 2 core classes and an elective. Fridays are all their courses. So that is the typical middle school schedule. If your child attends Thompson, it does look slightly different. The hours, the last 2 hours of the day are broken up into 4 short classes, but the duration of the learning time is the same. And that's because of their IB programming. There's some unique aspects they have to fit in. And the high school schedule is next. If you have a high schooler, whether they attend Southfield Regional Academic Campus, Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology, or the University High School and middle school, they will be following this schedule. So those students start at 8:30 every day with seminar. And it's very similar but flip-flop to the middle school schedule. On Monday, they see all of their instructors for a shortened period of time, so it's a check-in time. On Tuesday, you have first hour, second hour, third hour. They're calling lunch 4th hour here. 5th hour is Tuesday, and then there are office hours. And then that would repeat again on Thursday. Wednesday and Friday match with 1st, 6th, 7th, and 8th hour. So it's a block schedule, and they do half their classes. Each class they do 2 and kind of a half day per week. The office hours are different because the contractual start and end times for the schools are different, but it doesn't mean that the students at regional and university will get different amounts of support time. Some of that support time for regional and for Southfield A&T, you see it says 1:45 to 2:40 at the bottom to close out each day, and then university, middle and high says 1:45 to 3:05. It would appear that there's 25 extra minutes of office hours. Those 25 minutes of office hours are actually at the start of the school day for university. Not university, pardon me, for regional and for Southfield A&T. So your child will get the same support regardless of what school they are at. It's just broken down a little bit differently. But the official start time for all high schoolers across the district is 8:30, and then the official end time is 2:40. Unless they're university, then that's 3:05. So that would be the typical day of a high school learner. Again, there may be time that they need to be working after school hours, just like in a regular school week, to complete some of the asynchronous work, which means their independent work. But these are the hours in which the teachers will be available to your child. You can continue. The center-based programming at KLC for our kindergarten through age 26 learners, they are still following the same schedule that they have been on. You should not expect to see any changes or many changes from there. They've already been in school for about a month now online, and they will just continue to follow that pattern that's working very well for them. You can continue. And Summer's reloading the screen because I had to change a link for her, and she's amazing. I didn't change a link for her. I changed the link due to my error. So your students have certain norms and expectations. You noticed in the spring that things were very different depending on which teacher was teaching the class, what was going on with the students in that class, what building your child went to. So many different factors came into play in the spring because it was an emergency situation. That is why the governor had the hold harmless law, and students were given a pass and basically told that students couldn't be failed due to COVID. It's very different this coming fall. Although it is bumpy, we are structured and organized in our approach this time. And as we move on, it'll get smoother and smoother, but there are guidelines. So all grades will be earned from here through the end of the year, like in a normal school year. So this virtual learning experience will be school. It will be exactly what they're used to in a school setting, it's just virtual. So tests are important, quizzes are important, doing your work is important, participating in class discussions is required. So all of those things come together and your child will be earning the grades in which they receive. And here are some of the things we expect students to do. So we're asking students to maintain a study schedule and attend all the virtual sessions. If your child is absent, it will be documented, but if it's an excused absence, you would provide that same documentation that you would in a normal year. If that's a doctor's note or whatever the reason is for the child to be absent to be considered excused. They agree to actively participate daily and keep up with their assignments, tests, and quizzes, whether that's synchronous live with the teacher or asynchronous by themselves doing independent work. They need to be responsive to communication initiated by the teachers and school personnel. A lot of the state law has come up with two-way communication, so we need to make sure that we're checking in with our students, and it's vital that they respond back. If they don't, then that puts certain things into effect that we have to do as a school to ensure that your child becomes active. So they're agreeing to maintain their technology, and if they have any needs, to appropriately communicate that immediately to their teacher so that they can get the tools that they need. My computer broke 3 days ago is not an excuse. You need to inform your teacher that very, very, very first moment when you realize you're having a technology glitch or an internet problem, so your teacher can support you through that problem. They agree to communicate regularly with their teachers and or counselors if they need assistance or support with their scheduling. They need to check their email and their Schoology account at the beginning of every single school day, during the school day, and at the end of every school day. Students are accountable for being engaged in the learning process. This is going to take some time for them to get used to, especially our younger learners. Continue on. Some more norms and expectations for students. They agree to follow virtual meeting guidelines. We'll go over those in a moment. They'll log into class on time with their camera on and adhere to SBS dress code. We want to see students dressed for school, not for bed. So we want to make sure that we're up and dressed, and this will also help your child to see this as a school setting, to see this as important, to see this as their job, like it would be on a normal school day. Students will be asked to follow common courtesy, no inappropriate images or content during virtual meetings, including in chat and community forums, that they will be accountable for their participation for learning, immediately communicating with teachers if there's a technical need, like we said, or even a personal need, if someone falls ill in the household and the family is in need of support, or if that child is a young child and they are going to not have support from a particular person for a certain duration. It would be important to keep that communication open with the child's teacher. And students are aware that they are not allowed to record any of the students or staff on the screen without knowledge and consent. There's no reason for them to do it. The teachers will be recording every lesson and posting those lessons online for later review. So if your child misses a lesson, they can go back and review it later, or if they need to review the lesson just for their own personal learning, they can do that then. But students are not permitted to record any students or staff. That is a violation of the federal law, and that they will abide by the SPS Code of Conduct as usual. On the next slide, we'll talk about norms and expectations for parents. This is a big learning curve for parents too. I myself am a parent, and it's been a struggle for me to learn this pattern with my own children, and I've been an educator for 20 years. So it's about routines and expectations up front. It's very difficult. Some of us are much better at it than others. Some of our children are more cooperative than others. So we will work together on this. But these things will help set yourself up for success in your family. Ensure that your child has access to their electronic learning device with internet connection. And be aware that SPS has made devices available. We've had 5 different distribution days, and it will continue to be distributed. And that link will be coming up in just a moment. If you are still in need of a Chromebook, please make sure you fill out all district and building required forms and surveys virtually in a timely manner. As you've seen in the last 5 months, the laws shift and change, and regulations and policies shift and change, and the situation with COVID shifts and change. So as the phases shift and change in the state, so will our response. So if we enter phase 5 and realize we need to get back to school, the district's going to need fast communication from families. If a survey is pushed out as far as what are your preferences and things like that. You can help your child by setting up a study space in their home that's designated during the week. It could be as simple as a corner of the dining room. We don't all have lots of extra space to use, but find some space and you can make it fun with your child. Allow them to decorate it, to post some strips on the wall that they can tack things into, or use the little blue sticky tack or tape that won't ruin your paint. And they can use that space to help them stay organized. And please ensure that your child is attending all their virtual sessions. I know as a working parent, I can't be there right next to my child all day to make sure that they're engaged in there, but I can certainly hold conversations regularly throughout the day, inquiring and asking for evidence of the work, those types of things, or show me before you submit. Just have some sort of accountability practice in your home so that your child knows that the expectation is that they are there for all virtual sessions, according to the district schedule. Continue. And ensure your child has proper supplies and access to proper nutrition during the academic day. There will be food distribution throughout the year. What that looks like will probably be different than what you saw last spring, but we will be in constant communication with our community. Southfield Public Schools has led the way in food distribution for their communities. We definitely have stayed a step ahead of the communities around us and what we've offered. So that's been an amazing thing that the community has appreciated. Communicate those needs to the school if you don't have what you need. There will be certain things shared with you, and I'll go over that in a minute, that the school will be giving to you as a family. Help your child maintain his or her study schedule. Encourage them to communicate with teachers and counselors. Routinely check parent portal through MyStar, Schoology, and district communications, and maintain up-to-date and accurate contact information in that parent portal. If your email address changes and we don't have it, you won't get the things you need from us. If your phone number changes and it's not changed in the system, you won't get the text from us. Those are the important things to have in there to be communicative. That's the one way we can reach out to mass groups at the same time. So encourage your friends and neighbors who you know are part of SPS also to do the same, because if they're not receiving the communications, it's likely that their numbers are not up to date in the parent portal of MyStar. So that is very important. I know there was some glitches over the last 2 weeks with parent portal. I believe it is up and running now. And if it's not, please check back each day. It has been quite a journey for all of the districts across the state with MyStar. So due to the fact that we have different tracks now of virtual and hybrid and things like that. Continue. The online expectations. When a student joins a meeting, they use the link provided in their Schoology account. They need to join the meeting on the time. When they enter the meeting, make sure they're quiet, mute themselves as they enter, come prepared, make sure they have what they need, the technology is ready. If they have a question and the teacher, they can put it in chat that they have a question, the teacher calls on them, then they unmute themselves, ask their question, and remute themselves. You can see even the panelists above have all muted themselves here. It's common courtesy because there's always chatter around the house, whether that be a dog barking, a baby crying, or even just dishes cleaning. So we want to be respectful of the learning environment the best that we can. Continue. And these are just some do's and don'ts of how to engage. Continue. These are just some do's and don'ts of how to engage in virtual meetings. And this is posted online in the Return to School plan. Here we have other helpful information. Now, these are some important key points that are going to help you. And remember, this is recorded. So if I'm going over it too quickly, which is likely for everybody because it's a lot of information. It will be recorded and posted online, so you can review it there. Please don't hesitate to watch it 2 times if you need to catch all the information. All students in the math classes K-11, they will receive a consumable version of the online work. So they will receive a math book to do their work in, that they can write in, that they can work out problems on and such. If they prefer to use that print-based method, they may, but they still then have to input their answers into the online platform. This excludes pre-calc and calc. There will be no consumables for those classes, but for all other math classes, K-11, they will receive a consumable so that students can have that opportunity so that they don't have to do everything online, because math is a lot of paper and pencil based thinking. And if that's their preferred method, that is absolutely fine for them to do. The second bullet, you can see all K-5 students will receive a literacy toolkit to support their reading groups through literacy footprints. That toolkit contains magnetic letters, whiteboard, dry erase markers, different charts that go along with the guided reading program that your child's teacher will be utilizing with them. So that way that all children have equal tools and access to the lesson. And those lessons will be supported through the platform Literacy Footprints. So when your child goes to their guided reading group, there's a bag that you will get of these materials, and they would just bring those each day. There's also a journal in there. On the third bullet, your students' grades will be posted in Schoology. Again, the grades will be posted in Schoology. You're used to logging into MyStar to see your students' grades, but it's going to be in Schoology for this time period. Progress notes will no longer be issued mid-quarter because you have real-time access to all information. You can see what assignments have been issued, what the scores have been given, and what your child needs to still turn in. You'll have real-time access to all grades. You always have, and now we're asking parents to actively check that with their children, encourage them to check it. Sometimes I even tell my son to go into there and print it up for me so I can see. So then you'll have no surprises at any given moment about what your child does and does not have turned in. And on the same end, we're asking teachers to maintain accurate records in a timely fashion, so you will have that information. All lessons will be recorded. We want you to know that they'll be recorded so that you're aware that your child is being recorded, but they're only being used and posted inside Schoology for other students to view if they missed a session. So if your child can't attend for a particular day because they're ill or because they had to go to a babysitter's house and there was no access at that spot, they can come back, view the session, and make up the work there, rewatch the lesson, and submit the work. That will be there, pardon me. That will be there for their benefit. So just be aware that lessons will be recorded. And that will also help you if you need to go back on something to understand what your child's being asked to do. Continue. More helpful information to know. I think there's a delay when Summer clicks next. There we go. Attendance will be taken for all students in the same manner in MyStar, so you can view that in Parent Portal. For elementary, students will have attendance taken in the AM and PM, just like in a regular school year. And in secondary, every class that your child takes will take attendance daily. Now, you remember back to the schedules, and some of the days your child met with certain classes and some of the days your child met with other classes in grades 6 through 12. Those children will still have attendance taken for those classes on the days they don't meet, and the teacher will assign an assignment for those days that your child would be turning in, and that will count as their attendance. So attendance could be at a live session or attendance could be the turning in of work, but that will be in and tracked for the state. So again, in elementary, their attendance at the AM and PM sessions will be their attendance for the students. If your child misses these sessions and still turns in the work for the day and views those recorded sessions, they will then be counted as attended. The teachers have been made aware that they need to have a backup policy in case a child is not there for class for a particular day. that the asynchronous work that the child submits for that day is there. It could be as simple as a form that says that they watch the lesson and a parent signs off on it or something like that. That will look different for each class, but attendance will be taken every day and recorded for our county and state purposes for all classes. So even if your child doesn't have a class for the day, work for that class is still due. They're just not meeting live. The second bullet, all materials will be provided online due to CDC guidelines. That's the reason you will be only be getting your math consumables and those literacy toolkits in grade K-5 and math consumables in all grades. We can't recollect textbooks that we send home. So all textbooks that the students use will be available online only. So you will have access, just not in print. If you, number 3, are still in need of a district provided Chromebook, and thank you, Summer, for refreshing this so this is accurate now. Please fill out the form located. It's on our Southfield website. It's very easy to find. You can search the Return to School page, or you can go to this link, to www.southfieldk12.org/return to school. And that will take you to the link to indicate that you need a Chromebook. Once you submit for that Chromebook, you'll receive a pickup time and date for your Chromebook. If you hear of a pickup time and date from another person, another Southfield parent, please do not come to that distribution day. That's not intended for you. You will get your own. We only have a certain number of Chromebooks at the site, and we really ask people to adhere to the dates and times that they are given. You're welcome to send someone in your place as long as they know your child's name, but please stick to your dates and times. Another helpful tip that I forgot to tell you, when your child logs into their work each day, please make sure they're logged in as themselves as a child, not under yours or maybe a sister or brother's email address when they log into their Chromebooks. They have to be under their Southfield Public Schools address and password so that they can get to the right places and they'll be logged accordingly in the right places. And I think that's the end of my section. It is. And so I'm going to turn it over to Summer Caldwell-Crothers. She's going to tell you all about Schoology and what that is, because that's our big new buzzword. And she's going to break down how you can get engaged as a parent with that as a starting point. But please remember, offer yourself grace, offer your child grace, and offer our teachers grace as we all are in this together. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Nancy. And I'm glad that you said offer grace, because our teachers have been working extremely hard making sure that they are up and running on the Schoology platform. So thank you so much. I'm going to talk a little bit about Schoology and the parent guide to Schoology. So some people can pronounce it Schoology, but it's new for all of us. It's Schoology. What is Schoology? So it's our district's learning management system where teachers use Schoology to post their classroom materials. It's a safe forum for teachers and students to discuss their ideas. Students are able to take quizzes, assessments. Teachers can collect their homework. Everything is in one safe, located place. So students, you may say, how does students get onto Schoology? All students will have to go into clever.com /in /Southfield Public Schools. If that link does not work for you, if you just go to clever.com and log in as a student, it will ask you for your school district. You put in Southfield Public Schools. Once you do that, you will see this screen right here, Southfield Public Schools. Students will then have to log in with their district network login. So every student in Southfield Public Schools have a district login. If you do not have it, your teacher should be reaching out to you to give you that district login. Once they log into Clever, they will see a little icon that stated Schoology. They will click on the Schoology icon. For the first time, when they click on the Schoology icon, the students will have to log in again. And the login is the same login that they used in Clever. So the screen will look just like this. Once they log in one time, they should automatically be logged in any other time that they go into Schoology. So for your parent account, this is how you will get access to your parent account. The classes that your child is enrolled in, you will see all of your students' classes, their upcoming assignments, their school, their class announcement, any district announcements, just to keep you updated on what's going on with your child's education. So this is how you will get registered with Schoology. You will go to Schoology.com. You click the sign up at the top page and select parent. After you select parent, it will ask you for a 12-digit parent access code. All of your teachers should have already communicated or will be communicating with you shortly on the parent access code. So in K8, I believe all of the homeroom teachers should be giving you the parent access code. In high schools, the seminar teachers should be giving you the parent access code. That parent access code will connect you to your child and all of their courses. Once you put in that code, you fill out the form with your information and you click register to complete. When you use a parent access code to create an account, automatically associated with your child. So whatever classes that your child is associated with, you will be able to see those classes. If you have additional children, all you have to do is click on the button that says add children, and then you will add their access code. Having a parent account in Schoology is actually like having two accounts. So you have your personal account with your name and information, and then you'll have your child's activity view. And from there, you can view Schoology from your child's perspective to see what he or she sees and receive updates about his or her activities. You will not be able to change anything or add an assignment for them, but you will be able to see that assignment. So this is just an example at the top, what you will see as a parent. You see the parent name in the right corner, and then you see the button that says add child, and then you can add your additional children to the Schoology account. So notifications, you want to make sure that you set up your notifications. So you will click the settings and click in the drop box in your settings, and you will follow the steps to complete your notifications. Remember, notifications, you will get a notification for every single thing that your child is doing. If they submitted an assignment, if they did not submit an assignment. So you probably want to go through your notifications and determine what notifications you do and do not want to receive and how you want to receive them. Setting up your parent email digest. You want to go to the Schoology parent email digest. Is just a brief summary of your child's activity delivered right to your inbox. So you can opt to receive it on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Is up to you. But if you're doing it on a daily basis, it's going to send you every single day. So, but the good part about that is you can keep up with the assignments and if your child has submitted the assignments that they're supposed to have submitted or not. So to set up a parent email digest, it contains information such as courses your child is enrolled in and grades, attendance information, as well as overdue and upcoming assignments. Depending on the settings configured by us, which is a school district, this is an example of what a parent email digest could look like. In addition to the parent email digest, you can opt to receive additional email notifications when your child has overdue assignments. So you can opt into that. And that's just a good opportunity to make sure that your children is staying on top of their work. We know that the virtual environment is very new and it can become overwhelming. And so we just want to make sure that not only our students are keeping up with their assignments, that the parents are in the loop on what's going on in the classroom. So there's account settings where you can do things like change your password or update your emails. You can determine your landing page. So when you log into Schoology, what do you want to see? Do you want to see your page as a parent, or would you want to default to one of your children's courses? To determine the first page you see when you log in on your Schoology account, you can toggle in between your child's account at any time to stay updated. Sorry, as you can see, I'm outside, so we have flies everywhere. So you can stay updated on his or her schoolwork and activities. From the default account menu, you can select main account if you would like to see your own personal account, or you, like I said before, you can click on one of your children's account if you want to see their account first. It's up to your personal preference. So after logging in, you can see the top navigation bar from anywhere in Schoology. So on the top navigation bar, you'll see Schoology, you'll see courses, and you'll see groups and resources. If you get lost in Schoology and you say, I don't know where I'm located at in the system, just click the word Schoology and it will take you right back to the beginning of your course. When you click on courses, that's the opportunity to see all of your children's courses. Groups, you can be in a group as a parent. You can have PTA groups. Teachers can set up groups. And so that's just a way to share resources. Messages and notifications is when you are, when you like your notifications in Schoology. You can also have messages and send your teachers messages in Schoology, and it goes directly to their Schoology account. There's a calendar on Schoology that you can utilize and see what's upcoming for all of your students or all of your kids. So it's a lot that you can do within Schoology to keep up with all of your children's activities. You can see the grades. So the teachers will input their grades in Schoology, and you can see them once the teachers import the grades within Schoology. From the home page, you can quickly view specific information about your child's Schoology activity. So as you can see, you can do a lot with Schoology as a parent, and you can keep up with all of your students' grades, their quizzes, their discussions. You can ask teachers questions about them within the messages. So it's a dynamic and robust program to not only keep our students up to date, but to keep our parents updated as well. So this is more about overdue assignments that you can keep up with, your groups that you can be part of within Schoology. So from the home page, you can quickly view specific information about your child's Schoology activity, like the calendar. And so all of this is within the same. You can do your messages, you can see their activities, you can see their grades. And so you have quick access to the teacher as well. Now, teachers do check their regular email as well. And those emails, if there's a message in Schoology, it does also goes to their district email as well. And so we will be doing more training on Schoology and getting a little bit more condensed about what Schoology is and how to use it. This week, teachers should be contacting you, and they will be contacting you, giving you your parent access code. Once we know that parents have their access code, we can do more of a live demonstration on, how to get in. If you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to your teachers. And if they need more answers, they know how to get in contact with me, or you can contact me. My email address is on the district website if you're having any issues. But the first chain of command is to please reach out to your teachers, and they will be able to assist you in any way that is needed. But again, like we said in the beginning of this presentation, we ask that you be patient with our teachers and with your students. And once everyone gets everything up and running, I'm sure that it will be seamless. Now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Freeman so she can discuss students with IEPs. Dr. Freeman?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, and I did turn my camera on, just kind of give it a minute. I probably have way too many tabs open, but good morning. It is still morning. And what a beautiful morning it is. So thank you all for spending a little time with us to talk about our systems. It is an exciting time. It's also a scary time because these are new platforms and we're becoming familiar with them just as you are. So I just want to reassure all of our parents, whether your child has an IEP or not, that a lot of our staff members are massaging these new tools, getting comfortable with them. And it's okay if you're feeling, well, I'm not sure how this is going to work. We're going to get through this together. So what I want to talk a little bit about today is the unique learning system. The unique learning system is not a new platform for our district, but we are expanding its usage for our preschool program as well as our self-contained classrooms. So if your student is enrolled in one of our self-contained classrooms, meaning that they spend the majority of their day with one special ed teacher, it may be likely that they will be using the unique learning system for a portion or all of their instruction. Next slide. So the unique learning system aligns with a common core, and it is well researched. It aligns to all the mandates of IDEA, that's the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and it allows our students to participate, make progress in the general ed curriculum, regardless of what level they're functioning at. It has 6 grade bands that we use. There's a preschool band, an elementary band, an intermediate band, middle school, high school, and a transition band. Teachers are able to select the appropriate band that supports the needs of their children. So it's really nice for them to have this tool because it allows them to differentiate the instruction for their students, even if they may need middle school reading, but maybe later elementary math. So again, they have that flexibility to do that. Another good component of unique learning system is that it includes science and social studies content in one of the unit topics. Next slide. The lessons are designed to be formatted the same. So for our grades K through 12, there's about 30 lessons. For our transition program, they have 21 lessons. And for preschool, they have 22 lessons. Each unit is designed to be taught for about a month. It allows students to master a skill. The lessons, again, are differentiated across 3 grade levels, And so again, it allows for participation. In addition, the teacher has access to all core materials and the instruction is a routine. So the students get familiar with how the lesson is formatted. And if they're transitioning from elementary to middle school and they're using the unique learning system, it provides that consistency in how the instruction is delivered. I want to invite you to the unique learning system webinar. And it's a 50-minute webinar that gives you a more comprehensive view of this learning system. And it's something that you might want to take a look at, and the website is listed on this slide. Next slide. When I talk about the different levels, for example, there's level 3. Our level 3 students are more independent. Most of the content is delivered in written format. It is modified, so it may be bigger, the larger print, so the students can access it. But students at level 3 are pretty much performing where they can read, they can write, and they can really do some work independently. For our level 2 students, there are some pictures in addition to words, and they may need support. If we have a level 1 student, it is pretty much all pictures, but also with words. But it's formatted to allow our students that are nonverbal, our students that require maximum support to continue to engage in the learning just at their level. Next slide. Within Unique Learning System, there is something really unique about it. It's called the GPS, Goals, Preferences, and Skills. So this assessment allows our teachers to create a learning profile for students that takes into consideration the goals that have been identified on their IEP, but also their preference and what type of skills the student's already demonstrating. So this is like an assessment that the teachers can use once a year to develop this profile to better understand what level and what is the best fit for their student. Is it level 1, level 2, or level 3? Next slide. In addition to the learning profile for our older students that are in the high school band or the transition band, teachers are able to administer a transition profile. This will take into consideration their areas of employability, daily living, community, personal living, and lifelong learning. It's administered again once a year to kind of develop some goals as well as to understand what level of instruction the student will require. Next slide. I will entertain questions. What questions do you have for me?
Thank you so much. We appreciate all of our panelists. Y'all did an excellent job as always. And so I have my partner with me, Aaron Marshall, Student Support Coordinator, who's going to assist us, and we're going to answer the questions that have come into the Q&A. We had the chat up for a little bit, so I'm going to try to pull that back to see if we missed anything, but we're going to focus on the questions, once again, that were in the Q&A section. So I'll start with the first question. How do you provide the written documentation for an absence?
So for an absence, you might email the doctor's note to say that you were there, the same way you would do it in a normal school. You're just not the drop-off method. So you could email a copy of it to the teacher. If there's a normal call-in line, I think I'm not usually involved in the attendance procedures, but I believe that there's probably a call-in line at the high school. So follow those same procedures, except for the ones where you would bring the materials to the school office because you cannot enter the building.
All right. Will the slides be available to print?
This slide presentation is not available to print. However, the schedules that you saw at the start and the teacher and student expectations and virtual meeting guidelines, those are available in that same section of the website that I gave you, as Southfield Public Schools Return to School. The document there shows you the family versions of the schedules, so you can print those. And I know that Summer and her team will be getting those documents out about how to log into Schoology. Those will be coming home as a document to you as well. We just wanted to go over it with you live because some people like to hear it in person as opposed to reading, but some people like both.
All right. Aaron, did you want to take the next question?
Yes, I will. Let me see here. Is there unique learning systems for students who requested the hybrid learning curriculum, or is it for extracurricular activities for all students?
So we talked about 2 learning systems here today. One was Schoology. That's the learning management system that our K-12 students will be using. But then Dr. Freeman talked about unique learning systems for special ed students. Dr. Freeman, do you want to clarify who exactly works with the unique learning systems?
Yes, Unique Learning System is designed for our students that are enrolled in our self-contained classes. So if a student is in a self-contained special ed classroom, meaning that they receive their daily instruction from a special ed teacher 80% of the day, then they would be likely utilizing unique learning systems. So it's not for all students. And again, teachers can determine if a student has a deficit in math, maybe they need the unique learning system, but for reading, maybe they require a different system. Unique learning system is something our teachers have in addition to access to the general curriculum. So they actually have access to both.
So
And
it's
I will put the email address in the chat. Okay.
so it's not necessarily something that all special ed students have.
No.
But if they have an IEP with, let's say, a resource room teacher, they would still be operating through Schoology with their main classroom teacher.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. Can you please explain how students who are enrolled in O.T.E.C program will merge the two curriculums?
From what I've heard so far, O.T.E.C will be online. Now that is a moving target, like a lot of the things we do. It's been changing very rapidly, and the department in the state is making up rules daily, and so we're all playing catch up. But I will send that on to, I believe, is it Elise Collier who's in charge of the O.T.E.C program, Mr. Beebe?
You know what? I'm not sure. It might be a counselor at Southfield A&T, but
Okay, well, I'll find out where that question should go, and I'll say that parents are interested in more communication so that they can have that.
I might be able to add because I have a daughter who's going into O.T.E.C and we did get a letter. O.T.E.C is virtual this year. They're starting out virtual. And so it is my understanding that students will be notified. Letters should have come to parents already regarding the platform, and it works in concert with our system. So typically students are able to achieve 3 grades for that one O.T.E.C class, and then that takes the place of their electives, and it's just combined with your grade point average with your other core classes.
Thank you, Dr. Freeman.
all right. The next question. My daughter is very camera shy. Does she have to show her face all of the time?
Have a conversation with your child's teacher on that, I would say. We are asking students to have their camera on so we can make sure they're properly engaged. But if you have a special circumstance, obviously the teacher could work with you on that. So just be communicative with your child's teacher on your student's needs if there was a reason that they needed to turn their camera off during the lesson, as long as they were able to check in, see that the child was there, and the student would then participate still through the lesson. I'm sure that adaptations could be made, but again, that requires active communication between yourself and your child's teacher.
Next question is, how do I get my login for MyStar?
MyStar logins come from the school building secretary. So you would call the school buildings, and some of the principal secretaries are in the buildings, but you still cannot go to the buildings. But you can call the school buildings. They're all available via phone. So that is all handled through the building. So if you need your MyStar login, if you're having a problem with MyStar, that all goes to the building secretary.
There's a couple of questions about math books, and one of the parents even logged on late. So if you didn't answer already, can you please revisit about when they can get their math book? Another parent was concerned about if their child had an IEP, they're supposed to have a book. So when would that pickup be available?
So the pickup is going to be the problem with, as you know, everything right now. Shipping is just like we had with the bridge books. We are waiting on the shipment of all of our math consumables, and then we just got grant approval for those literacy toolkits. So right now we do not have an ETA, but as soon as they come in, my hope was within the next week or two that they will all be in. That is not a guarantee I can make. That is my hope. And once that happens, we will immediately host distributions at each of the buildings. A lot of the principals are excited about that, so that teachers could have a chance to socially distance meet their children if they were able to do so. So that will be arranged at your child's building level, and you'll hear communication from them. It will not be like Chromebook distribution at the high school. It will be school by school based. And you will receive information as soon as we have it. There will be a fast turnaround once they're in our hands.
Thank you very much for that. And like many things that we've ordered that we need to distribute throughout this entire process, all deliveries for everything is behind due to COVID. You want to get the next question?
Sure. Can more than one parent sign up for a student in Schoology? Can we both? Oh, so we both can receive notifications.
So I'm almost positive yes, but I'm gonna do a checkup and follow up on that. And once I get clarity on that, I will send out communication to the teachers that will send communication out to the parents.
Okay. All right. And it says, when will we receive the access code?
So the access codes for Schoology should be given to you by by the teachers. So in KA, it should be the homeroom teachers. In high school, it should be the seminar teachers. They should be reaching out to you to either email or call you to give you your parent access codes. Also, check with your students if you are a parent, if not a new parent. Check with your child to see if they have the district login, because if they do not, then you will have the district login as well.
All right.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Summer, if my child's enrolled in 7 different classes, will that be 7 different codes I'm receiving?
No, you should receive one code. The code is associated with one parent. So once you receive that one code, that is all of your child's classes.
Okay. Thank you, Summer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Our questions are bouncing again. Give me 1 second. 11:30. Okay. So is there one 12-digit access code per household? Can I see both kids work under one 12-digit code?
So you have one 12-digit code per kid. So once you put in your 12-digit code, you have access for that child. If you have an additional child, you will have to add a child and get that code for that particular child. Then once you put that code in, you will see all of your children's courses.
Okay.
Thank you. Let me see here. It keeps jumping when parents ask questions, so I'm just scrolling back up. Let me see here. So one person, which we appreciate all the time, said not a question, but I just want to thank everyone, every one of you, and of course all the teachers and administrators. You are doing a great job in a difficult situation. Thank you so much. That is much appreciated. I think I speak on everyone's behalf on this call. Let me see here. I'm skipping over questions that we already asked and answered. A lot of
I can go with one.
okay.
It says, I am a new parent to Southfield. Please advise, how do I get my child's district email and how do I get access to Schoology?
So if you're a new parent, the teacher should have reached out to you. If not, you can email or call the school and they should be able to help you. So you can email the principal, you can email the secretary, you can call the principal, you can call the secretary, and they should be able to help you and link you up with your child's teacher where you can get your Schoology parent code.
Is there a specific school supply list recommendation for each grade level?
Yes, and you can find that on the Southfield Public Schools webpage under Return to School as well, like the Chromebook form, which is under the Technology tab, but this one will be available there as well. So it's a suggested supply list, and you'll have to let the school know if you need some of those technology items.
Okay, as Mr. Marshall said, it's bouncing around. Did you want to go ahead and take it, Mr. Marshall? You have one?
Yes. Get here. Hold on, just bounce around on me again. 1 second. Okay. all class schedules, are they out already to all students on every grade level?
Can you say that again?
Class schedules, and class assignments, are they already issued to all students on every grade level?
It was my understanding that it was, Dr. Freeman?
I'm sorry. Can you hold on 1 second? I apologize. I got a call coming in too. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So class schedules, I believe they are all out at this point in time and that they have been worked through. They should be up in MyStar. Now, again, if you log into MyStar and you're having problems, call your building secretary. Don't be surprised if you are having problems still. It's not, if you're missing your child's information, you will get it. It will be coming. So rest assured, and please do not add stress to your day by being in a race. It's a race you will not win.
Will the teachers group section of Schoology be used for parent-teacher conferences?
You're muted, Summer.
I didn't hear the question.
Will the teachers group section in Schoology be used for parent-teachers conferences?
I don't, the group section, the whole purpose is to add resources. So there's not a video conferencing platform in the group section. So schools will be reaching out to you to let you know what they will be using for parent-teacher conferences.
Thank you.
But conferences will be virtual.
Thank you.
All right, I have one. Oh, wait a minute. I think you already read that one. Just a second. Oh, I think I read that one too.
Yeah, a lot of these are duplicates,
Right.
so I'm trying to cycle through.
I've got one. I am a grandparent who will be overseeing children's daily learning. Can I receive my own notifications account?
So the parent code is connected to that parent that's in MyStar. And so if you're overseeing it, you can, whoever's in MyStar gets that parent code. So potentially you can just get the code from the parent and set up an account.
Thank you. How do we get the consumable versions of the material? All the text be online only. So how do we get the consumable versions of the materials, or will all the text be online only?
As we stated, they'll all be online, the text. The only consumable you'll receive is math, unless your child's in pre-calc or calc, they will not. So those will be distributed at the buildings as soon as we have them on site.
All right, I've got another one. A second question from a parent. My children's school's university has a strict, oh, it bounced again, strict policy on missing assignments. Will that be relaxed? I believe is what she was asking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be a question you would gear towards your building administrators and your child's teachers within those courses. I really can't comment on that because that would be an individual building policy.
Okay, yeah, she's looking for help organizing days. All right.
And I'm sorry, what question did I miss? I apologize. I was trying to answer some of the questions in the chat. So I missed that question. Then I had a call come in. Was there something I needed to circle back to?
Nope, it wasn't your question. You're all
okay. Okay.
There's a bunch of questions about sharing of this. You may have already touched on of this presentation, or if they're recorded for later viewing.
Yep, it'll be on the South Public Schools website. Absolutely. Another question up there was on extracurricular activities. They are determining by activity what will be and will not be offered. I know the intent is to offer as many as possible via online platforms. There was talk about National Honor Society and those types of extracurriculars. They can still meet online. However, things like the marching band, they will not be able to meet until circumstances change in the state. But they are looking to put as many extracurriculars up online as can be.
Yeah. I'm going to read one that's been someone responded to it. Can parents download the Schoology app on their phones? And Dr. Freeman responded, yes, go to the App Store and you can download it for free.
But Summer, wasn't there a special version that they needed to download? I think you went over to your presentation to make sure that they download the right one.
Just make sure you download the one that has the Schoology logo. But my recommendation also is before you download the app, set up your account first on a computer, and then go and download the app and sign in. It will probably make it a little bit easier for sign up.
I had a parent who said that they're calling the school, but they're not getting an answer from the school. No one's answering the school phones.
We will look into that and make sure that all the schools have access to the things they need, but there should definitely be someone taking calls at each building. So thank you for informing us, and we'll raise that issue up. The other issue I have from a teacher is that class lists may not actually be available. I believe they were created, but again, I'm repeating, there is major issues within MyStar, and it's not a Southfield issue, it's a programming issue. So just continue to be patient and check back. Your child will be assigned a class, they will have a teacher, they will have their courses. So if you're unable to see it, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get there. I feel like that was most of the questions.
Yes, I'm scanning through all of them, and you guys pretty much touched on.
Yeah, and some people are saying they want us to contact them for a Chromebook, but again, we're not going to be contacting you from this list. If you please go to the Southfield Public Schools website, under the Return to Learn page, under the Technology tab, there's a form there for you to fill out. That form indicates that you need the technology. Do that on any device.
Thank you.
I have a question that I can respond to. We have someone who's a parent or grandparent that doesn't have Wi-Fi access. So first of all, we recommend Comcast Essentials. They have a program that's it works very well, and it's very inexpensive. We do have a limited number of hotspots, and I do repeat, limited number of hotspots, but definitely we want to start with Comcast Essentials as it relates to Wi-Fi for your home.
If you haven't heard from your child's teacher yet, again, that's probably due to the fact, like I just learned, that MyStar was not fully loaded with classes, so they can't reach out to students that they don't know who they have yet. So continue to be patient. It will come together. Continue to offer grace, and I will get together with the APs and secretaries and principals to make sure that there is somebody connecting with the building phones. Thank you for that information.
Okay, so at this point, I don't see, are there any other questions that the team can see that you want to address that we haven't addressed? If not, we'll go ahead.
Yeah, they were pretty well covered.
Okay, all right. So once again, we want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us. We want to thank our curriculum team that did a fantastic job. And we will continue to communicate with you all through this platform and many others. And so once again, thank you for your time. And we will be in touch with more information very shortly. Thank you all and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.